Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Remarkable Results Radio and Aftermarket Weekly, where our goal is to always help advance the service aftermarket by supporting your business acumen and personal professional development one episode at a time. Today, I am with Aaron Woods. Hey, Aaron from Xtra Mile Auto Care, Stillwater, Oklahoma.
It's good to be back, Carm. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming back. You've been a great contributor to the podcast, bringing your wisdom as a young, aggressive, smart shop operator. Recently, I think we just did a Town Hall Academy on
Uh-huh.
paperless and
Going
lovable.
digital. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Going digital. Cool. And you great contributions there. So thank you so much for it. We're coming to you on tape from the Dorman OE Fix Studios. In many cases, it's the Carm Cave. Ann says, "Where are you going?" I says, "I'm going to the Carm Cave. I gotta think. I gotta think."
That's where all the business gets done.
Yeah, and everybody's asking from all over the damn world and country, all over North America. Carm, how's that snow out there where you guys are? Because you can't help but see a news story on Buffalo and the 77 inches that fell, not necessarily all over, but in a narrow band. I got 2 feet where I live. My daughter Tracy got about 5. So yes, it was one of those maybe century style or decade style snows that we got. So thank you all for caring. Thanks so much to Dorman for their great sponsorship. Hey, we all know that fixing cars is different than how the OE builds them. Now take fuel lines, for instance. Fuel lines run and rust along with the chassis of the vehicle by nature. Now, especially in the colder months, trucks can be exposed to snow, salt, or rain, causing failure due to the corroded fittings, deterioration in the line. Now, to help you in your wallet, Dorman Products' team of engineers have redesigned the typical fuel line. Introducing Dorman's flexible stainless steel braided fuel lines. Made from braided stainless steel over flexible PTFE tubing, this upgraded material features a corrosion-resistant design. Each fuel line is an exact fit with the dimensions of each application. Now, improved durability is the highlight of this new design. This innovation is a Dorman OE fix, which means it's something that the original manufacturer doesn't offer. These fuel lines are quality assured and backed by their team of product experts and more than a century of automotive experience. Hey, want to learn more about Dorman's innovations? Visit dormanproducts.com/tour. Thank you so much, Dorman. Hey, look, I've been chatting with Aaron of late, and he was so kind to carve out some time to come on and do this tour and this little mini business discussion. And he recently, he's back working the counter for a little bit.
Yep. And so, well, first I have to say thanks for having me back on this. This
Sure.
podcast is, in my opinion, and I think in several others, the top tier, right, of the aftermarket industry. And so, to be able to, be on this show, in such great honor of you and the several of the other minds that grace their presence. It's great to be back.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Look, I every once in a while, so this happened to me recently. We're getting ready to travel again, and we produce so many shows. And of course, Thanksgiving's coming up. Tracy's taking a few extra days off. And so she says, "Hey, Dad, I need some help." And it would be like Aaron losing a service advisor and having to go back on the counter, right? So Dad went back to doing the stuff that he loved to do as he created the podcast. And it's humbling to realize all the work that everyone does. But you get a chance, Aaron, to walk through the shoes and check out your processes and systems and see if they're still working.
Oh, absolutely. And we put so much emphasis as shop owners to building the business to where you as the owner can focus on doing the owner things and out of the proverbial operational side of the business. And so as you get to that point, you start focusing on the bigger picture things, and the 10,000-foot view, I guess, is what we have termed it. But then when you take a step back, and of course my service advisors, one of them is out with a newborn baby, and so congrats to him and his wife, and and that milestone in their life. But it's giving me the opportunity to get back into the front counter and get in front of customers and those relationships that I've had with some of those customers throughout the years. But Also, it gives you a great opportunity to revisit some of the processes that you've created, but then stepped out of. And then now you come back in and find those, it's how your people have grown some of those processes and where some of the inefficiencies still lie.
What if you didn't have a service advisor out? Yeah, it's a couple of years down the road, you're growing, things are really happening for you. Would you ever just consider, I'm going to go out, I'm going to work the counter for a couple of days?
I think you should. I think that's a great angle to look at. I think we sometimes kind of, think that we graduate above that and that that's not our place anymore. But at the end of the day, the entire business is our place, right? And I think that we should step back into a role, and I think that's a great way to revisit and some of those processes that we have put in place. And I think if we have the mindset of continuous improvement, being able to get back into there and see how we can improve some of those processes is important.
We are getting ready to do an episode on service advisor overload.
Mhm.
And it came to me because, I was chatting with a bunch of coaches about this, and they say, "Oh my God, we now do this and order the parts and do the estimate and do the DVI and present it to the customer. And
It's a lot. Yep.
by the way, we need to contact the people that shopped with us last week, and we need to contact the decline work," and on and on and on. And I was given a list for this upcoming show as to how many areas of responsibility that the service advisor has. And it's gonna be a great episode, I think one checked in reality.
Yeah, and we practice a lot, and we talk a lot about in our system is the term picking up pennies, because as a service advisor, it is so incredibly important for you to be a great time manager because there's so many of these small things that, like, I was up at the front counter today, and one of my advisors was on hold with like an extended warranty company, and we talked about, well, instead of being on hold, could we just get an email address and shoot off an email and move on to the next task? So I think one of the biggest things that we need to work on at the service counter is our efficiency with our time management, and we call it picking up pennies.
You know, our jobs at our counter continue to evolve. As you say, the
Mhm,
extended warranty, if you will, disruptor wild card that exists, and how are we gonna lead and manage and ensure our money?
mhm.
And that's a time factor.
It is
I
100%.
in your case, you may have say, "Oh, boy, we just never figured out how we're gonna deal with it, manage it, control it," and you may
Mhm.
have to stop and put another line on your processes and say, "This is what happens when."
And this has been a great, I've been back on the counter for about a week and a half now as he's out with his baby, and it's really been a great refresher to come back and to see that side of the business and to be able, like, again, I call it the operational level, like the boots on the floor, right? And how important it is to be able to understand that side of the business, even though it may not be my day-to-day job any longer, but it's still part of the overall structure of the company.
Cool. Well, I encourage everyone to keep their ear to the ground for our Town Hall Academy episode on, piling on the service advisor. So, Aaron, thank you for sharing,
Yeah.
getting back on that counter and, getting kicked upside the head, maybe, just a little bit. Well, maybe these are my rules, they're not working. Okay.
Right, right, right.
So, thanks for coming back after the baby. Now I have to go and reinvent our counter. So cool. Hey, look at let's get a chance to see your great business out in Stillwater, Oklahoma, Extra Mile Auto Care. We're gonna click the play button here and let's check it out.
So we actually took over the shop in 2020, and maybe I can email you a picture of what it looked like. But we completely restored the front of the building. None of that brick was there before. We actually had to remove what was in front of that brick to expose it, which I thought was awesome.
That's a really that looks like stainless steel. That's nice.
Yep. Got that stuck up there. Customers love it with that convenient pickup and drop off. And we actually built this lobby about a year ago. This wasn't here either because this was just a wide open shop with the front door. So I think we finished construction on this about a year ago.
Very nice. Love the homage to your team. Now that those pictures that were up on the wall,
Mhm.
is that all the techs and service advisors? I see
Yes.
your
Yep.
picture was up there too. Okay.
Yep. I do need to add my office manager, Tawny, to that.
And you know what? I got to stop for a moment. I'm going to back up this film and I want everyone to carefully look where it says free drinks, help yourself. It's something that I talk about on this show a lot. There's this people sometimes say, I'd like, can I buy a water? Can I buy a Pepsi or something like
Mhm.
that? So thank you for doing that. I think that's an important thing.
Well, and I think people are naturally not inclined to even open that if they don't know if it's free. This is
And
something that we put together to just make a personalized visit for each customer to have their names on that board.
I love that. I love that. Announcing who's coming inside today. Yeah.
This is our training area. Couldn't again, we just built that office, and so this side is you're stepping out into the shop. But this is the area where the service advisors and the technicians perform their training, and then we do our Monday morning staff meetings.
Nice. So how big is what's your square footage?
Total building is about 7,000, and then the office is about 350 square foot. So the rest is
Okay,
the shop. That's Mr. Kane. He's one of our apprentices there.
cool. 4 bays?
There's actually about 6 bays total. We have 5 lifts, and then a 4 post, and then some of the center way as well. It's actually a pull through shop, so there's a door in the back as well.
Nice.
That's Mr. Devon.
Mr. Devon, what's the tenure of your techs? How long they've been there?
Average probably about 3 years, but again, you have to keep in mind we've only been in business about 4. So
Yeah, yeah. And you've been in this location about 1 year?
we've been in this location since May of 22 or May of 2020. I'm sorry.
Okay, couple of years.
Mhm.
Oh, now let me ask a question. Are you doing fleet work for FedEx?
But we are, and so I was actually going to address that. You're going to see a lot of FedEx shops trucks in the shop right now, and a lot of that is because we're getting a lot of their services done before Thanksgiving, because that's from Thanksgiving to Christmas is really their busy time. So it's going to seem like we're a FedEx shop, but it's really just this last week of us trying to get their trucks taken care of.
So my question is, do you have to wait for your money?
No, we actually because they use ARI,
Yeah,
they pay within probably 2 days.
nice.
Now ARI takes a little bit of a percentage, but it's not much more than credit card processing.
Okay. I love the organization with these shelves as to your suppliers. Do your part suppliers drop the parts off at any special place?
Right here, and so I think I thought I did anyways. Is there a way to like maybe back it back up?
I'm gonna do that. Let's back that up, and,
So um, I thought I got it in the picture, but maybe I didn't. When I move over to this next side,
how about here?
yep, go ahead and keep it rolling from here, and I'll stop you
Okay.
where we get to it here. So this shelf right here is after the parts have been received. And I know it's kind of hard to see in this video, but these little tags that are on the front there, they're actually
Yeah.
magnetic, and then we write the repair order number on them. And then
Ah,
that's where the technician comes over and grabs their parts as they reference their repair order number, and then their parts correspond with that. And then if you keep playing it, you'll see here in a second. So this is where the technicians grab their parts, and I tried to zoom in to get like you could see the repair order writing. And then these two shelves right here, if you want to go ahead and pause that. And I thought I grabbed it up top, but on the top of these shelves, the right hand side is the arrivals, and it says arrivals on it. And then
mhm.
this left side where those quarts of fluid is the returns.
Got it.
So the returns go there and the arrivals go here. So the parts vendor can come and drop off the parts with the corresponding shelf on the arrivals on the right side. And then if they have any returns, they can pick those up on the corresponding shelf on the left side.
And return tracking, are you, considering that the driver is gonna write that credit, or are you gonna write it?
Well, we process and follow that through our shop management system, and
Yeah,
so once it's in the refund pending area is when they get picked up, and then we're actually able to stay on top of that. If we don't see a credit within a couple of days, we follow up.
got
Oh,
it.
right there,
Very
you
good.
can see
Yeah, I saw
the
that.
top it said returns.
Yeah, nice. Very organized, very I mean, you can't run a busy shop without that.
Organization is key. That's been one of our main focal points in the last probably 6 months, is getting that parts area revamped, because that's a lot of there's a lot of leaking going on in your business if that's not organized.
Boy, you're right about the FedEx vehicles. Oof,
Yeah.
they're everywhere.
Yeah, we like I said, we're working on trying to get all of those taken care of and back to them before Thanksgiving, because that's kind of when their busy season starts.
Sure. Are you selling a lot of tires? I mean, I see, of course, the alignment equipment.
We actually are currently subletting our tires. We just got that alignment rack in May, and then we're going to be getting a tire rack within the next couple of months.
Okay. And when you say subletting, are you just buying? Are you just telling the customer to go to a different place to get tires?
We are not. We actually we don't ever like to send any of our customers anywhere else. Like, they're our customers,
Right.
and so what we do is we have a relationship with the tire shop that's about a block and a half away, and
Hmm.
we purchase those tires, and then we take that customer's vehicle down there for them, get those tires installed, and then bring it back. So we recommend and purchase tires just as if it would be here, except the vehicle's going to the tire shop for those at this time.
Okay. Would you ever consider just selling the tire yourself?
Oh, absolutely. As soon as we get the tire machine to come in here in about 2 months, we will be
Bingo.
doing those.
Bingo. I was that would have been my next question.
Yeah, we just got the alignment rack in May, and then we've got the tire machine mount and balancer coming in the next couple of months.
Nice.
So it looks like he's doing an alignment on one of those vans here just recently.
Hmm. How many parking spots on the property?
Zero. So that's one of the things that we have to work on. We're in the downtown area of Stillwater, so we actually do not have a parking lot at all. We have to utilize public parking. So there are certain designated areas that we do utilize, but in terms of our own property parking, we have zero.
Zero parking. So I can imagine you guys are playing chess on the
Yes,
street.
we've had to really develop strong processes for where we park vehicles at.
And Aaron, in your role right now, as you are assuming the duties of service advisor, is this your responsibility to worry about where all the cars are parked?
Well, we have areas, like we have a parking lot that's about a half a block down the street that we call it the overflow lot, and then this area, real quick, I wanted to kind of talk about this. This is actually the original Stillwater, Oklahoma jail that is in the back of our shop here. So how many people can say they have original, like a historical marker inside of their shop? This picture right here is inside of the original jail cell of Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Any famous incarcerated person?
Not any outlaws that I know of, but you can
Oh,
still see the rebars on the window, and then they got the sliding door. But back to your question of the parking situation, we have a key box, and where the key is placed in the key box is where that vehicle is parked, and we only use three different designated locations, and so that each person knows where it's hung on the key box is where that vehicle is located.
got it. Okay, that's clever. A designator, really
Yes,
nice.
yes.
This was a jail, apparently many years ago, and you're only in here for 2 years. Was this retrofitted as an automotive shop?
It was. So this entire building wasn't the jail. At the very back, there's a little brick kind of enclosure at the back of the shop, or
Sure,
where the bathroom is, and that was the jail portion. This was actually a Chevy dealership in the 50s, and it's pretty much been a mechanic shop ever since.
I got it. Okay. So when you took it over, it was a mechanical shop.
Yes, yes.
Got it.
It just didn't have that office or anything in it, because it was just a wide open space. You would walk in the front door, and it would just be an open area. For where the service counter was over to the side, kind of where that parts area is now. There used to
Sure, I
be a
see.
service counter there.
And so you put up the wall, created the lobby,
Yep.
and very very nice. Are you leasing?
We are currently right now. I'm still undecided on whether or not we'll be here long term, just because of some of the parking situation and things like that. That I'm not sure whether this is going to be our long term home. But what we came from, we were in business about a year and a half before this location, it's definitely been an improvement to where we were. And so I do feel like that we could be here for at least a couple of years as we continue to grow, and then maybe find our forever home after that.
You're in downtown Stillwater. Are you getting much suburban business?
Suburban, like, as in, like, kind of like suburban towns around Stillwater,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
oh,
people coming in from the outside of the
oh yeah,
city. Yeah,
yep. We've grown to be, if not the largest, probably one or two largest aftermarket shops in the area. So Stillwater's about 60,000, and then with the college students, it's about 80. And then there's a couple small towns in the
nice.
surrounding areas that we pull from as well.
Gives you a great size customer base to pull from.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, great to see the tour of your place and to hear your story of supporting the counter. While you have someone out on is it paternity leave? I think it's
Yep, yep.
called
So
paternity.
our lead service advisor, Tyler, him and his wife gave birth to a beautiful baby girl last week on Monday. So I want to say congratulations to them and their family.
Yeah,
And then so it's and I always say, train your staff to the point to where you're afraid that if you get back up on the counter that you're not as good as your people are, right? And find yourself having to ask them for help. That's when you know you've done a good job.
it's a great message to end with. Thank you so much, Aaron Woods, Extra Mile Auto Care, Stillwater, Oklahoma, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Colin.